Right, guys, Manchester United have just beaten Arsenal by 3 goals to 2 in what was a really entertaining game, brilliant game to watch. But it was a really even game, I thought. In fact, if I had to pick a team who was the better side, I'd probably just edge towards Arsenal. But just when you think Arsenal are on top, that's when Manchester United strike, and that's how they've been the past few games under Michael Carrick. But we'll start off with the obvious talking point of the game, the Emile Smith-Rowe goal. In fact, in the lead up to the goal from Smith-Rowe, neither team could keep the ball for more than 10 seconds. It was ridiculous. It was entertaining to watch, but the level of football was poor for the first 10-15 minutes. And Arsenal had God knows how many corners at the start of the game. And the goal did come from a corner. The ball gets whipped in. Fred goes and stands on David De Gea's foot. The ball gets cleared out to the edge of the box. De Gea's down on the floor holding his ankle or foot. And Smith-Rowe's hit the ball really well, to be fair. It's bounced up for him. And he's hit it into the bottom left corner. It's a good strike. And the referee, Martin Atkinson, was really close to blowing his whistle just before the ball crosses the line. In fact, on the replay, his whistle was here. He was very close to blowing it. And it should never have been disallowed, the goal. The fact that there's even debating going on about it is ridiculous, in my opinion. I couldn't understand what the United players had to complain about. Their teammate has stood on their goalkeeper, and their goalkeeper, who didn't seem to be very hurt, has just dived on the floor. Someone stood on your foot. Just grow up. It's just ridiculous from De Gea. Although he did make a couple of decent saves throughout the game, so I guess he did make up for it. Well, did he? Somewhat made up for it. Just ridiculous how the United players were complaining about it. But United did go on to equalise just before half-time through Bruno Fernandes. It was a well-worked goal down the left-hand side. Alex Telles playing it through to Fred. Fred doing quite well to get the ball from out of his feet and play it to Fernandes, and Bruno opened his body up and managed to get enough power on it to get it past Aaron Ramsdale. And that made it 1-1 at half-time, and I felt Arsenal should have had a penalty just before half-time. They had a free kick on the left-hand side. I think it was Odegaard who whipped it in, and you can see Maguire isn't looking at the ball at all. Tomiyasu's in front of him, and he's got both hands on Tomiyasu's arm, and he's pulled him down. So for me, that was a nailed-on penalty, but you never see, or you hardly ever see, referees give penalties these days for when a defending player has fouled an opposition player off the ball in the box on a set piece. It very rarely happens. But the other way round, if the attacking player does the slightest thing to the defending player, it's straight away, it's a foul. It's nonsense. And it's not this particular referee, Martin Atkinson's, fault. It's just the game in general. It's something that I feel should be looked into. Because it's not right how it is. And that was it for half-time. Man United did take the lead in the second half through Cristiano Ronaldo. Once again, it was a good goal down the right-hand side, and I think it was Bruno Fernandes who squared it to Ronaldo. Ronaldo calmly put it into the bottom left corner, and that was his 800th career goal, which is mental. Because if you think about that, like 800, it sounds like a lot. But when you think about that's 15 seasons of scoring over 50 goals for club and country. which is ridiculous considering the fact that he hasn't, like, in his early days at Man United, he was like a right midfielder. It used to be him on the right, Giggs on the left, and up front, say Wayne Rooney or well, there's been a few to partner Rooney, Louis Saha, Berbatov, Tevez. Who else of United had? Solskjaer. So he at one point was like a out and out winger. So he wasn't really a forward at the start of his career. So to get that number is crazy. Like him and Messi are just another level to anyone else. I truly believe that. Just purely, like, we've seen players like Suarez and Lewandowski, and I'm sure there's been many others that don't come to mind straight away, but players like Suarez and Lewandowski, who have managed to get to the levels of Messi and Ronaldo for a couple of seasons, 2 or 3 years. Lewandowski sort of going through that period right now, I think, where he's truly at his peak. And Suarez, it was maybe 3 or 4 years ago, last year at Liverpool and early years at Barca. But they haven't managed to sustain it for as long as Messi and Ronaldo have. Messi and Ronaldo have been doing this for 15 years. No one else has managed to reach their level and do it for longer than probably 5 years. They just are another level. But Arsenal responded well to that. Odegaard got the goal. It's quite a similar goal. It was a ball out to the right hand side and it got squared to Odegaard. And Odegaard did the exact same finish as Ronaldo. Aubameyang did quite well to get out of the way of it, to be fair. But then Odegaard had a moment of madness in the second half with about 20 minutes to go. United had got the ball just inside the box. I think it was either Telles or Sancho played it through to Fred, and Odegaard just jumped into a tackle, and there was very little chance he was getting the ball, and he went through Fred, and it was a penalty. The referee didn't give it initially. But a VAR check, he managed to make the right decision, and Ronaldo just hit it at about 1,000 miles per hour straight down the middle, and I tell you, it was quite good to see Ronaldo do his celebration, and the Man United fans in that corner of the stadium all shout "See!" along with him, which was quite nice to see, to be honest, because you think that like these fans just absolutely worship him, don't they? And yeah, that made it 3-2 and turned out to be the winning goal. I thought Arteta made a few strange substitutions in the second half, like especially after the Ronaldo goal has gone in. Bukayo Saka was warming up. I could completely understand him coming on, but for Smith Rowe, I found that a bit strange. I'd have probably taken maybe Odegaard off and maybe played Smith Rowe down the centre where Odegaard had been playing. But he went for Smith Rowe, who I think is Arsenal's best player right now, even over Saka. And then he took Aubameyang and Odegaard off for Nketiah and Lacazette, and went for a 4-4-2, which was really, I couldn't understand that. Well, I can understand he's put strikers on, but I couldn't understand him taking his best players off. It just seemed very bizarre to me. Although Arteta clearly has improved Arsenal, they played really well tonight. I thought there were a couple of moments, maybe defensively, that weren't great, but it's very Guardiola's Man City. It's very similar to them. They keep the ball defensively quite well. They made a couple of mistakes, but Man United didn't punish them like Liverpool did a couple of weeks ago. But on the whole, Arsenal played really well tonight. I thought they didn't really deserve to lose the game on the basis of the whole of the play. United, it wasn't a great performance, but they did enough. Well, they clearly did enough to get the win because they got the win. And I think you've got to give them some credit, because even like we always say about the big teams, like a lot of people said it about Chelsea last night against Watford. They didn't play great, but they got the win, and that's what good teams do when they don't play well. So you got to hand it to them. But it's just, I think with Chelsea, they do usually have very good games, whereas United, that has been rare recently. So see how they do. I mean, the past week's actually been quite positive for United if you look on the results wise. To beat Villarreal away from home, good result, 2-0. To get a draw at Stamford Bridge, very good result. And win at home to Arsenal, very good result. So it's quite a positive week for Man United. But yeah, that's pretty much all I can think of that I've got to say. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.